to Out of the Rough. I'm Fred Arnold, and in this show, we're going to highlight opportunities and solutions to help get you out of the rough and into success, both personally and professionally. In these tough economic times, I want to provide you practical solutions to many of life's challenges. And today, I'm joined by Bret Wims. Bret Wims is a chartered financial consultant with financial services company Thrivent Financial. Did I get that right?
That's correct.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So tell us about Thrivent. I know it really has a niche market when it comes to serving its customers.
Yeah, Thrivent is over a 100-year-old company. We service primarily the Christian community. Started out serving people that had a loss in the family and supporting them with resources, funding, and we just grew out of that. So primarily started out in the insurance business, and then in the early 70s we opened up our own Thrivent investment broker-dealer and have been in the investment insurance realm since, like I said, the early 1900s. We're number 354 on the Fortune 500 list.
Who's counting?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I like to tell people we're the largest Fortune 500 company you've never heard of.
Well, that's okay, and they're going to hear more about it because of Out of the Rough. But before we get to talking about the economy, what's happening with the economy, I want to talk to you about your philanthropy work.
Right.
For Habitat for Humanity. As you can see, I'm a big sponsor and a big supporter of Habitat for Heroes, which is run by Habitat for Humanity. Tell us about your adventures in that.
Right. Well, Thrivent is a not-for-profit. It doesn't mean we're not profitable, because we're very profitable. But we take our tax savings and our profits, and required by the Internal Revenue Code, we have to redistribute them into other not-for-profits. And back in 2007, we entered a partnership with Habitat for Humanity with a 4-year pledge of $120 million.
Wow, $120 million.
Right, and since then, we've given them in excess of $189 million, and the partnership has continued. It's a wonderful, well-known Christian organization partnering with an unknown Christian organization, and it's a really good fit for our company. And because of that, I've had some opportunities. I was on an ambassador trip in 2007, went down there with some of our senior management and reps from around the country, and went to Guatemala, out in the country, building homes, and just fell in love with the program. Came back, got trained, been leading teams every year. I've been on 9 trips. I was in Central America twice this year, and I'm leading a trip in September with another 30 people, and I have a couple openings.
Well, thanks for all you do with that, and I'm sure some people will be inspired and contact you just for that.
Right.
Let's talk about what's going on in the U.S. economy. Things are looking up. Businesses are doing a little bit better. Unemployment is coming down, which can be deceptive at times because of the way that looks and how they count unemployment. But how is the economy doing?
Well, I love this economy. I think it can be a little volatile. Sometimes we call that the pause that refreshes. So the market will take a little bit of a dip, even in a strong economy. And I think the advantage there is it does give people an opportunity to get in.
So let me argue with you on that one aspect, because in the mortgage industry, which I'm involved with, there was a violent increase in interest rates.
Right. Long-term
interest rates. We're not talking about your home equity line of credit, but we're really talking about long-term interest rates, 15, 20, and 30-year fixed-rate mortgages. That was really a big whiplash.
Right.
Tell us about what created that and what created that fear.
Well, certainly in 2008, when the mortgage crisis really hit, a lot of people were in the wrong kinds of mortgages, and they got the directive from the government to put anybody in a home that you can, make it work. And you can refi later once your home has gone up in value by a ton of money and get you out of this adjustable. So there was some fear, and banks, the banking industry, suffered greatly in 2008 during this downturn and this beginning of our recession. And so it did cause some spikes and some tightening up of lending practices. And it took a while for interest rates to adjust to that. It's like turning a steam engine, a tanker. It takes a while. These lagging
Try to turn a battleship on a dime, it's tough.
Yeah, it's very tough. So that's gotten a lot better, and as you know, the housing market is driving our economy.
Right now
You're probably very busy, and that's good. Rates are low, and they're going to continue to stay low. I know the rates will go up as the demand increases, but it's the housing sector is a really strong part of our economy right now.
Yeah, and it's really recovering. Let's talk about Ben Bernanke. How's he doing?
I like Ben Bernanke. I watched his speech live on the 19th, and printed off his transcript and I pored over it and I like it. Most people wouldn't think that reading the Federal Reserve Chairman's transcript of his speech would be all that interesting.
Takes a special person to do that.
Yeah, but it's really fun. You know, some of the things that they said were that, you know, the committee, you know, sees the economy continuing to grow at a moderate pace.
Very moderate.
Very moderate. But we want moderate growth. I prefer kind of a slower, steadier growth than a huge run-up and then a big fall.
Well, we're going to need a slow, steady growth in order to get out of the tremendous spending we're spending as a country. So,
right.
Yeah, and it's going to have to be continuous.
Right. Well, that brings me. That's a good point you brought up about spending. One of the indicators that reported this morning at about 10 o'clock this morning was the University of Michigan.
Consumer sentiment.
The consumer sentiment. One of my favorite reports. The consumer sentiment was estimated to be at about 83. Okay, and that's based on 100 is the base number. They started back in 1966. So we're not at full confidence. We're below full confidence. This morning they released it, and it came out at 84.1. So that tells me and tells our country that consumers, the people that buy the homes and buy the cars and go on the vacations and buy the clothes and phones, you know, they're feeling better about things.
Right.
You know, and that makes me feel really good. It kind of gives me a feel for what my clients are thinking and how much discretionary income they may have, if they're getting back to work, that type of thing. And here's a quote from the director of the survey. He said, I quote, "Consumers believe the recovery has achieved an upward momentum that will not be easily reversed." So a lot of strong sentiment, and that feels really good. If you looked at the chart of consumer sentiment over time,
it's getting better.
It's been well, obviously back in 2008 it was very low, but now it's definitely recovering.
You know, unfortunately, we've run out of time.
Okay.
I mean, it went quickly, but those that want to reach out to you and get your wisdom and your opinion and your thoughts on this market and where we're headed, and really get some good advice on being patient in this market. I know you believe in that so much, and working with your advisor. How can they reach out to you?
Yeah, they can send me an email. It's bret.wims@Thrivent, THRIVENT.com. I'm happy to talk to anybody.
Great. And your phone number?
It's area code 661-287-4000.
Great. Thank you. Thanks for all the work you're doing for Habitat. That is a job in itself, but that is what life is worth living. One of those things that you're going to look back on and you're going to be so proud of.
Right. Well, I'd love to have you on one of our trips some year.
I got to go for one of those adventures soon.
Yeah,
that would be exciting. Ladies and gentlemen, Bret Wims. There we go. Wims. I almost said Wims from Thrivent Financial. Hope you enjoyed this segment. We'll be right back.